Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to APSIPA interview section. Today is December the 4th, 2012, and we have invited Professor Kenneth from Hong Kong Polytechnic University. As he is an expert in multimedia signal processing, his research interests cover the area of human face detection and recognition, image processing, and also video analysis.
Yes.
So, Professor, welcome to our interview section.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
So, Professor, we learned from your personal website that you have very, different education experience. Your bachelor degree, master degree, and the Ph.D. degree are actually obtained in 3 different places. Can you share some experience with us?
Yeah. I complete my undergraduate studies in Hong Kong, my MSc degree in the UK, my PhD in Australia. And this gave me very good experience. When I was a student, Hong Kong followed the British system. So I can say that I was receiving Western education for all my life of studies. So in terms of studying, I don't find much difference between these different countries. The systems are very similar. But one thing, I think in terms of culture, and there's some difference. I find that in the UK and Australia, tea time is very important. Yeah, and not in Hong Kong. And I think that's very good because during tea time, people like to talk everything. Yeah, and people also enjoy the tea time. And another important thing is that if you want to find someone, sometimes it's very difficult. But during the tea time, you go to the common room, most likely, and you may find all people.
All the professors are there?
Yeah, most of the professors. Yeah. So you have a better chance to find the one you're looking for.
I see. So at that time, people just gathering together?
Yes, yeah, and we leisure and talk everything.
I see.
Another difference is that when I studied my MSc degree in the UK, my class size is very small. I think there were about 15 people. But there were only 2 local students, and then one from mainland China, one more from Hong Kong, one from Australia, and the other students from other parts of Europe. So I think that's very good because and I could know more new friends. And also in Australia, in my laboratory in Sydney University, there were about 10 people, and I felt like a big family. And we share and discuss our research, and we also play the sports together regularly. And I enjoy my time during the period as a student.
Professor, we also find one place we feel a little bit strange about it. Like in your bachelor career, we see that the degree is majored in electrical engineering, and in UK when you pursuing the MSc degree, it's actually communication. And in my viewpoint, it seems a little bit jump to one place and to another. Do you think it's a breakout, or it actually helps a lot?
And actually, all my studies are also in signal processing. My undergraduate studies were on electronic engineering. Actually, electronic engineering. My major was signal processing, communication, and computer engineering. My final year project for all undergraduate students, and at the end, and they had to take up a final year project. My project is fast algorithms for signal processing.
I see.
Yeah, so my major is on signal processing, and my MSc degree was on communication engineering. I can say that signal processing is very important for us to understand the subjects in communication engineering. Signal processing actually is the inside of many different subjects. if we don't know serial processing, it is important to understand the theories. And also for my research, my research is on pattern recognition and image processing. Serial processing theory is very important for my research as well. So I can say that all my studies and also my research are related to serial processing.
So it's actually a continuous somehow.
Yeah, and in electrical engineering or electronic engineering, this is just a generic name, and it includes many different areas. Yeah, and students can choose different majors, and I chose signal processing as my major.
So you really enjoy the signal processing research.
Yes.
And we also see that you have a very big prize, like in Ph.D. degree. You got the IBM Australia Research Student Project Prize.
Yeah, I received this prize many years ago, and I can't remember exactly the details of this prize, but I remember all the research students in my department were asked to prepare some orientation. Yeah, and we introduced our research to the professors and the visitors. After a few days of my presentation, I was told that I received this prize.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and I think because before I took up my PhD studies, I was a lecturer at PolyU for several years, and I learned how to make better presentation. I think that's the reason why I received this prize.
Transformed from a PhD student to someone who actually trained a PhD or cultivated a PhD student. What kind of quality do you think the PhD student need to be, say, shaping himself for during the research work?
Yeah. I think, first of all, they must have a good knowledge of their areas. But it is impossible to learn everything before the students start to do the research. And they should have a very clear research focus. And they should know what they are going to do. They must have a focus. But in the meantime, they should broaden themselves in the area, say for example, now I want to do something, and I have an algorithm. I take the Loising as one example. There are many different approaches for doing the Loising. But when the student doing research, he must focus on one or two approaches. And they cannot do everything. That's impossible.
Yeah.
For research, they must have very concentrated on some particular area. After they complete this job, and then they can move to another approach. That's fine. Yeah. So for students, they should be willing to learn, and their mind should always be on their research. Yeah. And because doing research is really different from studying a course. For studying a course, and you attend the lectures, okay, and before the examination, and you take some time to go through all the materials, pretty sure, and you will get a pass. But doing research is something new, and you have to produce something new, or you have to solve an existing problem. Yeah. So your mind must always be on your research and also on the research problem. It is something very strange. After a certain time period, gradually, and we can get some idea. That idea may come out all of a sudden. Yeah, but you must have it in your mind first.
So, Professor, we see that you teach classes actually like linear systems or lab sections. When you do lab training for students, do you focus on one or two main characteristics, ask them to practice during the lab sessions?
I Signal processing is a very important subject, and I can say that it's the first subject in signal processing. Linear systems that is the first subject in signal processing. Therefore, it is important that the students truly understand the subject. Now, in signal processing subjects, usually there are many equations. Now, I don't want students to remember the equations. They should understand the physical meanings of the equations. That's important. And for the laboratory exercise, this is to help them to implement some of the algorithms. So in the course of implementation, they can have insight into the methods or the approach, and that's very important. Very often when we read something, we can only understand the concept, the idea, but many details we are unable to attain just by reading books or paper. We must implement the method, okay, and through experiments, and then we can see something, and we can get the insight whether this algorithm is good or what are the hidden problems of the problem of the approach.
If I ask 3 words to ask you to describe yourself.
3 words. And the first word is caring, and I think we must care our students, and that's very important. Another word is improving, and we have to, and we cannot stop, okay? Because every day some new knowledge come out. Yeah. Therefore, and we have to improve ourselves all the time. Yeah. And the last one may be critical thinking.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you for sharing some valuable suggestions with us.
Yeah, and you're welcome.